everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a fun video that I love watching every single year, and that is 2026 reading goals. Now, I, for the first time in years, am not setting any solid reading goals, and that's a very intentional choice. I need reading to feel, do you see me looking up? God, please. I need reading to feel different in 2026. I need it so bad. I need it probably more than I need anything. And so today we are going to talk about what I'm going to do to read differently in 2026 to make it feel better to me. Now, there are a lot of external factors going on with reading not being my favorite thing right now. And it is what it is. I'm trying to do the best that I can for those things, but there are some things that are out of my control, but there are a lot of things that are in my control. Basically, the lesson of this video is that this year, everything is vibes. Everything is vibes. If it's not vibing with me, I'm not doing it. If it's good vibes, I am doing it. That is what I'm leaning into this year and this year alone. And that's just what I have to do for myself. Some people are able to really thrive on structure, on structured reading goals, on all of those things. And my brain is a fragile little doodad right now, okay? And so I need to have fun where I can have fun and lean into really what I want instead of, and I'm also trying to be mindful of what I might want like 6 months from now, because this is yearly. If I were to set a goal of books that I think I want to read right now, like right now, yeah, totally, that might be fine. But later, that might come back to bite me in the butt. So, first thing that I am going to be doing, or not doing, is no set numbered reading goals. I'm talking no 26 in 2026. I'm talking no, not even 10 in 2026. I'm talking nothing. I am talking no reading goal. I did set on Fable and Goodreads a reading goal, but I don't know why I did that, because I didn't really want to. And I made it something that I know I can easily achieve, so I'm not challenging myself. So I don't know why I did that. I made it at 60, which I really feel like I can do. So maybe that was my thought process at the time. But yeah, no reading goals. I don't care how much I read. Just as long as I'm reading good stuff that I'm picking out, then that's totally fine. So reading goals are just hard for me. Reading goals, I feel like it's nice to have goals, but like when it's a hobby, why are we doing this? I think that that's kind of my thought, is that I think it's nice to have goals, especially for people who are getting into reading and they don't read a lot, and so they're trying to get into the flow of it. But like, if you don't read 50 books in a year, who is that hurting? You know what I mean? So I don't really understand why people put a lot of pressure on that anyway, and I'm no longer subscribing to that narrative. So it's out. Last year for 25 and 2025, I maybe read like 4 or 5 of them, and it made me feel like I was so behind. When in reality, God willing, I'm gonna live a very long, happy, healthy life to where I have so much time to read. I can get to them when I get to them. But my initial thought was like, oh, I failed. But I didn't fail. I said that for myself. No one else made me do that. So I'm done. It's not happening. I'm just gonna let the books choose me when they come. That's what I'm doing. Another thing that I'm gonna do to read differently if I say in 2026 one more time, something else that I'm doing differently this year with my reading is kind of more of like a book purchasing habit. And that is that I no longer want to allow my physical TBR to intimidate me. I don't have a lot of books on my TBR. I think I probably have around like 30 or 40, which, I mean, let's not compare ourselves, but a lot of people have a lot more. And I feel like part of what I want to do is, it's okay to let the book sit on the shelf. It's okay to let the book sit on the shelf until it's time to find me. That's okay. That's fine. It's okay that that book has been sitting on your shelf for a year, because when you get to it, you're going to love it. And if you force yourself to read it before you do, you might hate it. And that's not the book's fault. That's not the book's fault that it was sitting there waiting there patiently and you decided to do a TBR video and you had to read it before you were ready. That's not on the book. That's on you. on me. And so therefore, I'm just gonna let the books call to me from the shelf when they're ready to be read. I really, like a talisman, I really think that that's true. I really think that that's true. And I'm just not going to allow myself to be sitting in my little library room looking around and making eye contact with it and making myself feel guilty for what? For what? Why do I feel guilty? Why? So dumb. Anyway, this is really just me like coming for myself. And then the other part of that though is that I do not want to add unnecessarily to the TBR. I do have a lot of books that I can read right now. And I don't want to unnecessarily add to it just because I can. If it's like my birthday or like, I don't know, some kind of a celebration haul, then I feel like that's okay, that's different, but like, I have so much to choose from. Let me just look and see what's calling to me from what I already have, instead of having the FOMO of like, oh, this book is really popular, or oh, this book is coming out and I need to have it right now. When I might not be ready to read it right now, I just need to have it in my little capitalist little fingers. And so that goes into the other part, which is because I work at a bookstore, I get to see all of the books that are coming out, and it makes me so excited. I love that part of my job. I love it. But sometimes, like quite a few times this year, I found myself purchasing new releases just because I was super excited about them when I wasn't ready to read them, and then they sit on my shelf for like 10 months. I'm not even joking. I think I'm literally looking at 4 right now on my shelves that I was so excited about that I bought earlier this year. Turns out I wasn't ready for them yet. For whatever reason, I was not ready for them yet. And so they've been sitting there when I could have let that sit on the bookstore. I'm still seeing it. It's still gonna find me when it's ready, and I just don't have to pay for it and have it in my possession quite yet. So I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna try to implement that a little bit better. Then we've been talking about a lot of things that didn't work for me this year. So let's have a positive and talk about what did work for me this year. And that was annotating whenever my little heart felt like it was time. Sometimes books, in my opinion, don't need to be annotated. Sometimes it's not necessary. That's a personal me thing. I annotate based on vibes. A lot of what I'm doing is based on vibes, if you can't tell. But I annotate based on when I feel like it's time, and there are books that I wish I annotated that I didn't, and that's initially why I set this goal for myself last year, but I don't want to annotate every single book that I read. I don't, and I don't need to, and so I'm going to continue that. And I'm also going to continue on my little high fantasy train that I was on last year. I really leaned into high fantasy last year. I read 5 whole series and a lot of standalones, and that worked so well for me. And there is just so much in that genre that I am so excited for that I'm going to continue that way of thinking. I am going to continue to do that. Something I'm also going to continue to do is reading one series at a time instead of starting one, getting excited and hopping on over to another. That has never worked well for me, and so I'm going to continue to the best of my ability to not do that this year. Something that I also have been thinking a lot about is I really enjoy the classics that I've read. I've only read probably, if I'm being honest, 5 or 6 of them, but every single one that I have read has impacted me so much and has made, like, I have thought about years and years after I finished it. And I just think there are so many good classics out there that are just waiting for me to find and read and cry over. And so I'm going to lean into that, and I am going to listen to what my brain likes and not be scared that The Count of Monte Cristo is 1,000 pages, because I don't actually have the big book fear, so, and I don't have a reading goal this year anyway, so who cares? I really want to lean more into classics this year, and we'll see what happens. Now, something that has always worked well for me is literary fiction. I'm gonna keep going on that literary fiction train. There are so many good ones coming out this year that I am so excited for, and there are so many good ones that have already been out that I'm really excited to get to. And I think that it can be really overwhelming when you think about all of the genres of all of the books that you want to read. And instead of having the mindset that I have always had, which is I'm never going to live long enough to read all of the books that I want to read. I'm never going to this, that. If I read this, then I'm giving up reading that. Like, I am going to do my best to not fall into that trap and just be grateful for what I am reading and just be grateful for the time that I am reading. And I think that that mindset will just help me select even more, earnestly isn't the right word. Select intentionally more the books that I am going to read instead of just reading something for whatever reason because I feel like I have to, because I own it. Like, girl, get rid of it. Who cares? Don't read it just because you have to. And I think that being way more selective will help me to feel better with that impending doom of there are so many good books out there and you're never gonna have enough time to read them. I'm going to try to shift my mindset on that. And the other part that I want to be more intentional about actually has a lot to do with this YouTube channel. So I realized last year that tracking everything on Notion is just not working for me. It's just not, I'm not vibing with Notion. I did it for 2 years and I think I really, really want to switch it up. I still have everything that I'm talking about in this video in there, but I also wrote it down in here. So it just wasn't working for me. And again, like I said, it's all about vibes. And so I purchased this adorable notebook from my work. It is by the company Rifle Paper and I love them so much. And so I basically just wrote everything that I spoke about or that I'm speaking about in this video on here. And I am just going to write what I read, when I read it, and my review of it in here, because tracking it in Notion is kind of annoying the way that, or at least the system that I was using for it. I felt like it was a hassle to get to all of my reviews. It was a hassle to really write them on there. And what I found myself doing is, because I love reading so much, I love books, I adore it. And I would get so excited about the next book that I was going to start that I would finish one and I would think to myself, okay, that really emotionally impacted me. I need to sit here for a second and think about that before I can write my review. But then I would get so excited that I would start another book and then I would forget that I still had to write the review for the first one. And then it would come time for me to try to make a wrap-up video and I wouldn't really know what to say because I did not slow down and analyze and really give the time that the book deserves for me to think critically about it. I would have the critical thoughts while I was reading it. I would do all of those things and then I would forget to write them down, and then it would come time and I would just be sitting here like, I don't know. So yeah. We're gonna try to change that. I am very, very excited. I think that this is one of the things that I am the most excited about doing. And yeah, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be super, super great. Okay, I'm trying to think. Oh, okay, so I think this is the last thing that I wanna talk about, and that is ARCs. Now, I get a ton of ARCs. I do. I get a ton of ARCs from my work. I'm very blessed. There are so many sitting in my Kindle right now that I cannot wait to sink my teeth into. But the problem is that because I get so many and because I'm getting them from the big 5 publishers, every single one of them, I have probably about 10 ARCs per month so far going into August that I can read. And that's not even counting the ARCs that I get from Libro FM. And it's too much, it's overwhelming. And before my little noggin decided to play some tricks on me last quarter of the year, I had this whole plan where I was going to catch up on the ARCs. So that way I was going to read through March, like by December. And then in January, I was going to start reading for April. So that way I was like always super, super ahead. And that didn't happen. And also, I don't really think that was feasible. And I do think that that was a reading goal that was stressing me out, so we're not doing it. So basically, I am just going to be very, very selective with the arcs that I am going to read. Speaking of, Lost Lambs in January, coming out by Madeline Cash. It was so freaking good. Please read it. Anyway, I just need to be very, very selective. Just because it's an arc and just because I have access to it doesn't mean that I have to read it. And because I could read only arcs for the entire year and still probably hit 100 books. And that's just not feasible. That's not normal. Even though I would love to be a book reviewer full time, I'm not yet. And so I'm just going to read what I feel like is really, really grabbing my attention and really, really needs me at that moment, and then we'll see what happens. So basically, yeah, those are all of the things that I am going to do this year to try my hardest to make reading feel better again and make reading feel like a safe place for me. I just haven't been able to focus, and it's so annoying. It is so annoying. And I'm really trying to honestly baby myself with it so that I can get out of this horrendous slump that I'm in and just fall back in love with honestly one of my favorite things about myself. So yeah, with all of those things, I'm anticipating the review videos to be a lot more dense, a lot better. And I have very high hopes for this channel this year, and I can't wait to go on this ride with you guys. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you're doing differently this year. You might have the complete opposite of me, where you had a very, very chill year in 2025 and now you're really, really wanting to hone in on some goals. And that's totally good. That's totally fine. I think that reading is a very personal thing. It's a very, very, very personal thing, and everyone needs to do things differently. So let me know one goal that you are going to be doing, and let me know one that you're not. And if you had a fun time with this video today, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.